Welcome back. Now, the NPA says no one will be prosecuted in the rape case involving a minor. On to the public then as Kwekwe. The mother of the 7-year-old alleged the rape took place at a school in Matatile, Eastern Cape last October. The case sparked public outcry, with nationwide protests demanding justice for the little girl. But the National Prosecuting Authority says prosecutors have assessed the docket and found there was insufficient evidence to prosecute. It says there was no conclusive evidence of rape or sexual assault. That's after an examination and interview with the minor.
The NPA confirms that the prosecutors in the Eastern Cape Division have declined to prosecute anyone in respect of suspicions of sexual assault case involving a minor girl in Matatile in the Eastern Cape. This decision is informed by a thorough assessment of evidence contained in a docket that was submitted by the police. They concluded that there is no evidence of rape or sexual assault after the minor girl was interviewed and examined by medical practitioners and forensic social workers. We took a decision as the NPA to release a statement today in view of the public outcry and the interest generated in the matter, even though last year, November, when the decision was taken, no statement was issued.
All right, let's discuss this case with our reporter Malungelo Booi, who joins me now live in studio. Malungelo, not so long ago, you were in Matatile. It feels as though, and we've pretty much been saying it, but let's just confirm this. This case is really the Justice for Kwekwe case that has been a public outcry, whether it be on social media or news media, correct?
I mean, the NPA is playing very safe here, but we know in Matatile, there were 3 rape cases involving a minor, right?
Yeah.
And there was only one 7-year-old, and this is this one, and it is the Kwekwe case, without a doubt. And that's the case that, in fact, had resulted in a lot of public outcry. Marches not only in Matatile, but also in various parts of the country with people calling for justice for this little girl. And the reason why we saw public outcry early this year was because this is the case that we're told the incident had happened in October last year, apparently at a school, and people were upset that there was no progress in the case. And the mother of this little girl had actually spoken out in one of the podcasts talking about her frustration. And that's why then we saw people taking to the streets demanding justice for this little girl. But I was listening to Mtunzi there, Mr. Mahaka there from the NPA saying that, you know, the interviews and the examinations were done to this little girl. What is interesting, though, when I was in Matatile, the Minister for Women and Children, Sindisiwe Chikunga, told us, and as journalists and other activists and people in Matatile, that they had received a report from medical doctors who had actually examined this child and found that there was indeed rape and violation of this little girl. In fact, the minister had gone far as to say that it appeared that this girl may have actually not been violated once in her lifetime.
Here's the issue with all of this at the same time then, is that it's faced a lot of contention. Because you first had the principal as being a key suspect to many people, and there was statements that had to be released to ensure that there was a clear note that he was not then going to be the suspect. And then we thought, okay, we'd get further information. The Minister of Police then deciding that he would continue this investigation, but feared that there just wasn't enough evidence. And that continues to be the case even now.
Look, when we were there, even some of the sources we spoke to there were saying that really there's no evidence really to go on with this case to actually even
did they say why? Did they say why there's no evidence? Was it just the passing of time?
It was the difficulty, because they're saying that, look, this is the child, and there's no one who also witnessed, you know, this. So that was
Yeah.
just one of the many difficulties. But we know, though, Arabile, police actually sent one of the most senior officials in the Eastern Cape following, that public outcry to go and scrutinize that case docket and also to speak to some of the key people in this particular case. But it seems as if even after that, really there's nothing the NPA could go on with here and prosecute in this particular matter. The NPA does say that it has sent the docket back to the police. What is going to be interesting, though, to see is what is it that the police do?
Yeah.
Do the police continue to pursue this particular case or not? We already have seen a statement from the Department of Social Development in the Eastern Cape. In fact, the MEC there, Booi Fanta, issuing a statement saying that she's actually very disappointed at this outcome because it does not send a good message to the victims of rape and sexual assault in this country.
So the big question mark that then also lingers is what recourse would the family then have if this becomes a situation where there is no prosecution that moves forward? Even if the police continue to investigate, what is it that are their ultimate leads from here on? From cases that you followed, do you know anything that would happen from here on?
So, I mean, when I was speaking to many people in Matatile and also some activists who were there, one of the biggest concern, Arabile, was that they feared that this case would end up just being a cold case.
Yeah.
And by the look of it, unless, I don't want to say a miracle happened, I don't know what kind of miracle could happen to ensure that this little girl does get justice. But, I mean, I don't see it going forward. I don't know whether experts could actually answer the question. But activists were clear, though, in Matatile that what government needed to do was that the president needed to set up a team that would look into the issue of GBV and sexual violence in that particular area.
Yeah.